In the finale, Sheridan gave us an ending that felt both satisfying and bittersweet. Thomas Rainwater stepped in to save the ranch by turning it into a wildlife preserve. The Dutton land is now part of the Native American reservation, but there's still room for Casey and his family to run a small herd. Meanwhile, Beth and Rip packed up and bought a new ranch outside Dillon, Montana, giving them a fresh start. Sheridan tied up most of the loose ends in a way that gave fans closure while leaving room for the Yellowstone universe to keep expanding. The only teased follow-up project during the finale? 1923 Season 2. At this point, any future stories are up to Sheridan. Now it's just a matter of Paramount finally telling us what's going on. The rumored spin-off. Now there's another possibility for the Yellowstone universe. A spin-off focused on two very important characters. Allegedly, of course. But fans think that Sheridan is only making up projects to save his ego. You know, there was a solid prediction that the show would fall flat once Costner makes his exit. Now, the situation is perhaps about saving grace. Sheridan has sent a clear message with Season 5. No Kevin Costner? No problem. Whether fans agree with that sentiment is a whole other issue. Spoiler alert, they don't. But let's be real. Sheridan has a mountain of projects in the works for Paramount. So what's one more spin-off to add to the pile? According to Deadline, Cole Hauser and Kelly Riley are set to lead a new Yellowstone spin-off, reprising their roles as fan favorites Rip Wheeler and Beth Dutton. The series will likely pick up right where Season 5 left off, which makes sense considering the finale quietly rebranded itself from a series finale to a season finale. Sharp-eyed viewers were quick to catch the change in marketing after the penultimate episode. And no, it wasn't a mistake on Paramount's end. They knew exactly what they were doing. Cole Hauser hinted at what's next when he spoke with people before the finale aired. "I think America has spoken. They still love the show," Hauser said. "We will see what happens over the next year or so, and we'll see what's next. Hopefully we can continue to get in people's living rooms and entertain them the way we have over the last 7 years." Translation? That's basically a yes. For now, all signs point to more Yellowstone, with Beth and Rip riding front and center. Plus, not to mention, there's one character who won't be making his return to the alleged spin-off. Take a guess. Come on. Luke Grimes is ready to bid farewell to Yellowstone. Luke Grimes has spent 7 years bringing Casey Dutton to life in Yellowstone, but believe it or not, he hasn't watched much of the show. While fans have been glued to their screens, Grimes admits he's only seen a handful of episodes, usually the season premieres. Why? The 40-year-old actor is his own toughest critic. Now that the Yellowstone finale has aired, though, he's finally ready to hit play. "I want to like the show, and I bet one day I will. But it was kind of hard to because I was still in it," Grimes explains. "I want to give it a couple of years just to cleanse the palate. Then I'll go through all of it." It's easy to see why he's been hesitant to relive the show that skyrocketed his career. The past 2 years have been an emotional roller coaster for Yellowstone's cast and diehard fans alike. The reported feud between Taylor Sheridan and leading man Kevin Costner threw Season 5 off course in January 2023, leaving the series on a long hiatus. Many fans struggled to accept that Yellowstone would eventually return without Costner, but for Grimes and the rest of the cast, filming the final season was surprisingly smoother. "Hopefully everyone can see that it was time," Grimes says. "To be really honest, there was a part of Kevin being gone that meant some of the conflict was gone. Obviously, it didn't make it super fun to be around. Not pointing any fingers, but it was actually the easiest season we've filmed." Without Costner's John Dutton taking center stage, Sheridan refocused on the remaining Dutton family, giving Casey a much-deserved spotlight. In the final episodes, Casey steps up to protect his family, save the ranch, and most importantly, begin carving out a life of his own beyond his father's chaos. For Grimes, this shift was deeply satisfying. "It was a running joke on set that the dumb cowboy figured it out," Grimes laughs. Casey's kind of the silent killer, and it's great whenever he gets to use that energy for something good. He's a character who is under his father's thumb, just sinking into the background because he would rather not be noticed than have to do the shit his dad wanted him to do. Now he gets to step up and figure everything out, so it was a nice payoff for me. In many ways, Casey's evolution reflects the end of an era for Yellowstone. After years of standing in the shadows, he's finally taking control. And just like Casey, Luke Grimes can now take a step back, press play, and see the journey that made Yellowstone one of the finest shows on television. Now, of course, fans are sad to see him go. Season 5B had turned Casey into a fan favorite. However, some fans also appreciated the actor for leaving the messy Yellowstone world at the right time. You see, emotions are running quite high, and ardent fans can't stop criticizing the mental circus that the season finale was. Yep, tune into social media and you'll see the colorful profanities yourself. So let's take a glimpse into the frenzy. Why fans hate Yellowstone finale. Fans took to social media in droves to share their reactions to the Yellowstone finale, and it quickly became clear that opinions were sharply divided. For some, the conclusion was a poetic and emotional send-off, while others criticized it harshly, drawing unflattering comparisons to Game of Thrones' widely panned ending. One particularly disillusioned viewer at JustinRayleigh_15 didn't hold back. It is official. Game of Thrones is no longer the worst final season of any TV show ever. Yellowstone has taken that award. What a disaster of a final season. #Yellowstone, #Yellowstone TV. Another fan echoed the sentiment, calling out the finale's pacing and tone. Seriously? 10-minute concert we didn't care about? 20 more minutes of Taylor Sheridan being a clown? 30-minute funeral? 10 minutes in total of anything good. Then some filler nonsense. Michael Vitale, a fan of the show, offered a blunt critique, tweeting, "Dumb ending, #Yellowstone, #Yellowstone TV." Another user piled on, lamenting, #Yellowstone was so good, and then it wasn't. I mean, that might be the worst 3 episodes to finish a TV show I've ever watched. I mean, it was just constant bullshit, concerts, montages of pointless nonsense. Just a terrible ending to a show that started so incredibly strong. Others were even more direct, calling it one of the worst finales in TV history and the worst television show ending of all time. But it wasn't all criticism. Some fans were more forgiving, speculating about the finale's implications for the franchise's future. User at NRJ Ramen wrote, after that finale, I wonder what the premise of the next season Beth and Rip spinoff will be. I guess we'll see. Another fan had a more emotional take. What an ending! I rarely watch TV series, but this one I cried the whole last episode. Truly touching. Thanks, #Yellowstone, #Yellowstone TV. Others found themselves content with the finale despite its imperfections. One commenter shared, "While this wasn't the best #Yellowstone season, I'm really happy with the ending. Not everything was wrapped up neatly with a bow, but there was lots of closure. It felt right. Very happy with it." Another fan gushed, "Other than Suits, which is my favorite show of all time, Yellowstone has kept me genuinely entertained throughout. One of the best shows of all time. A great and worthy ending." Another went so far as to call it the best series finale I've ever seen, praising the choice of music to close the show. To top it off with a Willie classic was perfection. The mixed reviews didn't dampen the buzz surrounding Yellowstone's future. Paramount had anticipated the fanbase's appetite for more and officially announced a new spin-off series featuring fan-favorite couple Rip and Beth just a week before the finale. With the couple's fresh start on their newly purchased ranch, there's no shortage of material for future drama. Recently, Kelly Riley, who plays the fierce and complex Beth Dutton, opened up about the possibility of reprising her role in the spin-off. In a candid interview with Town & Country, Riley reflected on her journey with Beth and teased what might lie ahead. "I loved this season. There were some really different territories to explore, so I'm not clinging to her. I'm happy to put her back in her padlocked box," she said, acknowledging the emotional challenge of stepping away from such an intense character. However, Riley didn't rule out returning. "If the story feels right, I am definitely interested in Beth and who she is after some things have happened. Who is she in peace? As an actor, you're like, ooh, let me at that," she admitted with a hint of intrigue. Playfully, she even mused, "Wouldn't it be fun to watch Beth go to therapy?" Whether or not therapy is on the horizon for Beth Dutton, the future of Yellowstone promises plenty more drama, ensuring fans will keep tuning in to see what happens next. One thing is clear though, Sheridan has to play his cards right, and if he wants to make the spin-off a success, he needs to make sure one important character finds his way back to Yellowstone. Carter is important for the plot. Fans of Yellowstone will remember Carter, played by Finn Little, who first appeared in Season 4. His arrival was steeped in tragedy after losing his father. The orphaned teenager found himself at the Dutton Ranch, where he quickly became intertwined in Beth and Rip's world. While the couple insisted they weren't looking to be surrogate parents, it was clear they cared about him. Their tough love approach slowly softened, and Carter became an integral, if understated, part of their lives, even though Beth and Rip never openly acknowledged him as family. Now, with the Beth and Rip spin-off on the horizon, it's difficult to picture their future without Carter. His presence adds depth to their dynamic, offering a chance to explore their evolving roles as reluctant guardians. Bringing Carter along would provide opportunities for character growth, giving audiences a closer look at Rip and Beth's unconventional bond with the teenager while highlighting their influence on his future. Unfortunately, Carter has been largely sidelined in Yellowstone's recent episodes. As the series winds down, much of the focus has shifted toward concluding John Dutton's arc, leaving Carter's potential underutilized. His most significant moment in Season 5, a scene where he spooks a horse resulting in Colby's tragic death, feels abrupt and fails to honor his place in the story. The spin-off offers a chance to change that. Freed from the relentless turmoil of the Dutton family saga, Rip and Beth's new chapter could delve into their relationship with Carter, exploring what it means to provide stability to someone who's never had it. Whether they admit it or not, Beth and Rip have become Carter's de facto family. Including him would tie up lingering threads from Yellowstone and allow this makeshift family to fully take shape. Carter needs to be part of the story for the spinoff to feel authentic and complete. Would you be tuning in for the spinoff? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe to our channel.